So if you are making 10K per month right now, but your content still looks like you're figuring it out and you're not really sure what you're doing with your personal brand and how to actually get viewers and turn them into sales for your info product, your agency model, or coaching business, then watch this video because I'm going to explain to you exactly the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel, and all types of content within those three topics that you need to be posting and implementing on your profile in order to get viewers and sales eventually. So without further ado, make sure to like this video. If you have any questions on how to actually start or scale your personal brand and make money with it, drop them below in the comments and I'm more than happy to make a Loom video about them. Well, without further ado, let's get straight into the video, right? So let me grab the pencil right here. Yep, we should be good. So what happens, right? The user discovers your content, and what kind of content do they discover on your page? Well, most likely it's reels. And that's also the top of the funnel. The top of the funnel is posting reels on trial reels, on your main grid, on your profile grid. It doesn't really matter, but what kind of reels do we have to post on our profile in order to get the right attention and attract our ICP to the page, right? So in first case first, we have a problem aware reel, right? Where we solve a very specific problem. So in this Miro video, I'm actually going over tracking sheets and why it's so important for people to track whatever it is that they're doing, because then they can implement certain things into their business and know the data and make decisions based off of the data. So make a problem aware reel because it's super important. It makes your ICP aware that they have a certain problem and you solve that specific problem within the video. Then we have a proof-based reel, and this builds a lot of credibility, guys. So in this reel, I'm actually going over how much money I made one of my clients in just 30 days, $136,000. Pretty insane. And I just quickly explain what the funnel is that we used in order to achieve this goal. And I do this in the form of a reel. As you can see, super valuable, super niche down content, very important for you to post, right? Let's continue. So proof-based reels, show your results, show the clients that you're working with, show what it is that you can do for other people and why they need to opt into your offer and buy your product or service. Then point of view reel, this can basically be anything. This can be like a lifestyle video, but also it can be your view on the business model that you're doing, right? So just like how I'm explaining top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel in this reel, you can do multiple different ways with this type of content. If we actually go to my profile, you actually see a ton of different lifestyle clips as well. That's more like POV, but it doesn't really work well. Unless you solely focus on lifestyle, it can work well to grow an account fast. But if you want to get conversions, it's very important to post Miro videos. And as you can see, even the Miro videos can get a lot of views. Like this video got 3,500 views. And I just started posting this a week ago again. So point of the view reels, super important as well. And these are the three different types of content that you can make. Now, when making these videos, you need to focus on the hook, the subtitles, and the CTA. And probably the hook is the most important part of your video because it will actually stop people from scrolling to the next video. If you have a solidified hook, whether you share money results or interesting Miro boards, or you can share cool lifestyle, just like how I showed on my Instagram page, then people will most likely stop the scroll and watch the video and at the end have a clear CTA. So in this video where I was explaining the tracking, for example, we actually have a CTA all the way at the end of the video that they can actually get my tracking sheet, and we also put it in the caption of this video, so people will actually comment the word tracking, they will receive a free tracking sheet. We give them even more value, which nurtures them eventually, right? Now, what is the user action after all these videos that they have watched? There's a few different options, right? They have a profile visit and we go to the middle of the funnel, or we have an engager and they come straight into the DMs, or they already directly DM us and they come into the DMs. So if the user engages, then we actually have to do outreach to them. But if the user DMs ourselves, then we of course don't have to do outreach. If they engage, we can outreach to them, right? If they like, if they comment, we can just simply send them a DM where the DM flow starts. But I will get back to this in a second, because what if we just get a profile visit, guys? If we just get a profile visit, it means that we are in the middle of the funnel. And that's where we have a grid strategy and a highlight strategy. And probably your highlight strategy in Instagram stories is one of the most important things that you need to implement in order to make money with your personal brand. So without further ado, make sure that you focus on building up a lot of social proof. And this can be in the form of posting professional pictures of you being at an event. Like this is an event where I was speaking for 250 people. And it actually went pretty well. It was the first time for me being an event. But when people see this, they see, okay, this guy actually has built something for himself. He is an expert. He is speaking on stage. He knows what he's doing. Same if we go to next setting again. Let's see. If we go to Nick's settings page, we can actually see besides all the reels, look how professional this looks. Of course, he shows that he's speaking on an event. This builds so much credibility and so much social proof because you have actually people paying to meet him in real life. So build a lot of social proof on your main grid by posting pictures that actually show that you are the expert. Then this is one of our clients at Trading Geek where we post belief shifting slides, right? So instead of just posting a slideshow of pictures without anything, we actually put text on it. So this is a great example why most traders stay stuck for years, even after learning everything. Now, if we go to the next slide, they know the story, they watch the YouTube videos, bought the courses, memorized the setup, but they still can't execute when it actually matters. Because learning is easy, executing is emotional. It's not a strategy problem, it's a nervous system problem. You see how we go very deep into their belief system within this slide. And then too, we have a very in-depth caption on this post as well to build even more trust and to even go deeper into the belief of the viewers watching this post. Now, then we have value content. Of course, Alex Hormozi is doing great with this, where he just posts random quotes that actually provide a ton of value to people following him. So pretty simple and straightforward. If you just go to his feed, you can see a lot of tweets that are actually providing a lot of value, a lot of videos that are providing value. And he doesn't even clean up his feed too much because it's not necessary, and he's also already super big. But you can see here a lot of information that you can actually learn from. So provide a lot of value. Now, next thing is the highlights, of course. So what are we going to do with the highlights? These are probably the most important things that you need to implement, guys. So you want to make sure that you show results that you are getting for your clients. You want to show the process that you take your clients through whenever they onboard or become a client. So that's exactly what I did in the Ruben Onega highlight. I showed some results, I showed more results, and then I explained how we uncovered his brand identity, the systems and the tracking that we use, and also the meetings that we have in order to stay on top of his personal brand. Besides that, the workflow that we use to make the content process as seamless and effortlessly as possible. And then the before and afters, showing exactly that we test different types of content and actually get him real results, real followers, and make him a lot of money throughout the process. And then after the process, I just keep sharing more and more results. As you can see here, here's a pretty cool one. 7.1, 9.5. I think that one is at 10 million views now. You get the point. Show the process in the highlight. Show what it is that you take your clients through so people can understand, okay, when I work with this guy, he's gonna take me from point A to point C, and this is everything that's happening in between. Then your identity. So this is basically a little bit of a backstory, and this is how I explained when I started with working with this guy when like 3 years ago in 2022. And this really just goes deeper into my personal story and how I've been working with Jacob for the last 3 years now. So yeah, pretty cool. Also showing a lot of results, 38 million views, as you can see. So I blend in the different types of highlights into one very long highlight, right? So once you open a highlight on my account, you actually see multiple of these things come forward within the highlight that I posted. And of course, your offer, I didn't really have an example from this, but show your offer, show what it is that you sell. For my offer, it doesn't really work well if I keep talking too much about my offer. I leave that for the sales call. But for others, it really helps on, hey, this is my offer, this is what I do, this is what I can do for you. Now, did you build trust within the stories? Because that's the main goal. On your grid and on your story highlights, you need to build as much trust as you can with your viewers. Because if you build trust, then they get to the bottom of the funnel. If you don't build trust, you lose the user and you will not get a sale. And that's not what we want, right? We want to get sales for a product or service through organic marketing. So we want to make sure we build as much trust as we can. And if we actually go to my profile here again, why do you think a lot of people want to work with me? It's because I have a lot of client highlights on my profile. I don't even show lifestyle anymore. I used to have like 14 different countries here of the lifestyle that I had. People don't give a fuck about your lifestyle. They want to see the results that you can get. And that's also why I have so many highlights of the clients that I work with. And that's also what you should be doing. Any client you get a result with, get him on a testimonial, get him on a story highlight, because that will build the trust and that will get them to the bottom of the funnel. Now, the bottom of the funnel is where we post the daily stories, right? So the highlights is one thing, but the daily stories is the second thing. Because on the daily stories, we want to stay active and connected with our audience. Now, first things first. Every Monday, I post a Q&A. It's just the same shit over and over again. And if I go to my archive, you can actually see that I actually posted this Q&A as well. So here we go, posted the ask me a question. If you need help scaling your personal brand and you're already doing 10 to 15K per month and your hashtag one main problem that you have with organic, and I'll reply and solve it, right? So pretty great. Just do a Q&A. This is really really an opportunity for the audience to get closer to you, get in touch with you. Now, you can share your own wins. I'm not really doing this. If you're in the agency space, I wouldn't do this. But if you're in the coaching space, definitely show money results. It really helps build a lot of trust and also gets the viewers like interested in sending you a DM to opt in for your service. Then client wins. Man, I've shared so many client wins, bro. Like every week you can see me sharing client wins, and it's new client wins every single week, over and over and over again. You can see results after ManyChat DMs, money results, viewer results, answering Q&As. Over and over again, I'm able to share the insane results that I get for my clients. And man, these things are probably the most important part. Share your client wins, share testimonials, and share results that you get for other people, because that's what they care about. Now, lifestyle 2. Funny enough, I just posted this one single picture of my setup, and I said, nothing beats a good setup. It says right there. And I actually got way more views on this story and also way more likes. But the thing is, if you post a sequence of multiple stories, your story views will go down. If you simply just have one story up and people like it, it's easier to make the story go up. So that's the lifestyle. You can mix this in every now and then. Or actually, you can see this as day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, value plus lead magnet. So let's actually go to this story right now, because I gave away my tracking sheet, right? So if people DM me the word tracking under this story, you can actually get a free tracking sheet from me that I implement for all my clients. You can still do DM me tracking or DM me or comment the word tracking under any of my Instagram videos, and I will send you the exact sheet that I will be going over later in this video as well, as you can see right there. So that being said, let's go deeper into the stories again. Show even more results on day 6, and then on day 7 you can show lifestyle again, right? So that's really the balance that I use every single week. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sometimes I miss a day, sometimes I post more results or less results to test it out. But this is the workflow that I would implement if you have a coaching offer, an agency offer, are you in the info space, doesn't matter, implement this exact strategy. Now, you can add interactive elements into your stories, like a poll, like questions, like votings, so that you can actually see who are the viewers that are very engaged with my profile, right? Because if you find the viewers that are very engaged with your profile, you can do outreach to them and get them into the DM flow, as we will go over. So if the user responds, then we actually DM them, and then we start our DM flow. If they don't respond, then we note the engagement, and then we will follow up with them through the follow-up sequence. Now, we already went over this. If the user action is immediately after a video to DM you, that's great. Or if they engage, you can DM them, and that's where the DM flow starts. Now, this is your DM strategy, and you want to follow this every single time. Or your setter, train a setter to do this exact process. You want to qualify the lead. Make sure they have a budget. Make sure they have paying, as you can see in the step 2. Make sure you pre-frame the lead, that they understand that they are going to buy something and they're going to invest into themselves. Then you're going to offer the solution, and then you're going to use voice notes, because it's built way more trust. It's easier to call. It's easier to book the calls with the clients. And I really use a lot of voice notes. In this example, I didn't really use a voice note also, as some of these steps are missing, because I have a very niche down B2B offer. So this is how people come straight into my DM. Hello, I've been told you're the man to go to for organic marketing. Sorry, I never saw any of your messaging. They were all went to requested. You've been well informed, builds authority. I know what I do. I know that I'm the best. I help people by taking care of everything to grow their personal brand on social media, A to Z. So this is kind of the offer proposition, of course, right? The offer solution, where we explain them what we do. And then, no, not really. I'm afraid I'm looking for someone to run multiple real accounts for me or push newer organic pages. Okay. Well, we do that as well. We have multiple offers within the company that we're running, and we actually scale pages from like 0 to 40K followers, 0 to 10K followers. We showed them the page that we do to build even more trust, kind of a pre-frame. We show them the results that we can get. Then he said, and then I just pitched the call. Very simple, straightforward. For B2B, it's more direct. These business owners, they don't want to go through a whole setting flow. They just want to know if they can book the call or not, and if what it is that we offer works for them. And if it works for them, then it's pretty simple. They just book the call, and then we book the call. Then I said, what's your email? I sent the email invite, and then he said, see you there. And that's exactly how we got in touch and booked the call. Now, if they're ready to convert, then they go through the conversion paths, right? So we either have an application, you either have a sales call, or you either have a direct sale, or you do a VSL. Now, let's start with the VSL first. And I actually implement a few of these funnels myself. So not just DM to sales call to close. I actually also implement the VSL funnel with paid ads. So the VSL funnel, you want to keep it as simple as possible. All I have on my page is a video explaining what I do, one button to book a call, and the 6 testimonials and case studies that I have for my clients. So don't make it complicated. Don't make a super long landing page with a bunch of bullshit information that people don't care about. Make one video, one button, and show a few testimonials, and that should be your VSL landing page. Nothing more, nothing less. This is exactly what you want to do. Now, once you have the VSL done, you can of course get call bookings through the VSL. These guys are usually higher quality leads because they went through your VSL. They know exactly what they're there for and what they're gonna get when jumping on the call with you. Now, the other option is the application. Make sure that they're qualified on the call. If yes, the call gets conducted, you get the call results, and then the sale is closed. And for the VSL, actually in between, we also have the sales call. Now, once the sale is closed, of course, that's where the whole process ends. But we also have the direct sale option. I really don't recommend this one actually, because how are you going to get a direct sale straight from the DMs? You need to have very good positioning in order to achieve this. But yeah, once the sale is closed, you say yes, and then you have the money coming in. What if the answer is no? For all of these options, what if you don't get the close? Either you follow up with them or you didn't get the sale. We have to go in and do the follow-up sequence. Now, what we do is we nurture them more and we retarget them later on with more content, right? So optimize based on data that we track. Since we track all the videos that we're posting, all the stories that we're doing, all the ads that we're doing, how many people come on the VSL, every single thing you need to track, you know exactly what your analytics are and you know what to improve on. So I actually have 2 different tracking sheets that I use for my own business and for my clients' business. And what we track is everything. We track the ad spend, we track YouTube subscribers, we track Instagram followers, inbound DMs, total outbound DMs, total new DMs, DMs to conversation, conversations to calls, calls from ads, calls from YouTube, calls from VSL, calls from DMs, total calls booked, calls on calendar that day, call show rate, calls taken, calls closed, and also where all the cash is coming from. If you want to receive this exact sheet, comment the word metrics or DM me the word metrics on Instagram. And for this sheet, comment the word tracking or comment the word metrics in Instagram as well, and you actually receive this sheet too. So this is where we track all the posts, the views, the profile views, likes, comments, saves, shares on each and every platform. We do this for YouTube as well, and this makes us see what videos are working well, what videos are converting well, and what kind of videos do we need to make more of in order to get the best result. And once we analyze our tracking sheets, then we know what to optimize on, and that will take us back to step number 1, where we create top of the funnel reels and improve based on the data that we're getting all the way at the end of the funnel. Now, if you don't track your data and if you miss out on any of these steps within the funnel, you don't have a proper organic marketing solution and you will not get any sales with your personal brand. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this was valuable. And without further ado, if you have any questions or you need any topic solved for your personal brand, comment the word down below, whatever it is that you want me to solve. I will make a video for it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good weekend, guys. Peace.